Hello and welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Friday, February the 6th. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the address to get in, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. Well, let's get right to the trade of the day. Rent, unbelievable. Rent, it's still down $24, but at one point, because it's what is it we're at now? It's at $56. At one point, it was down to 47. So almost another $10. That was almost down $33 for the day. Now, this is one that identified in the pre-market as a potential reversal trade, but it was kind of strange to me because it hardly had any volume in the pre-market, 800 shares, and then when I first saw it, and then it started to pick up a little bit. And this is an earnings play, so obviously the market did not like whatever earnings it came out. Now, the huge problem with this one, and anyone that is, dropping $30, the other thing I have to point out, well, okay, the volume isn't bad now, 2.7 million shares, but at the beginning the volume was still kind of light. And so a stock that's down 30 odd dollars with light volume, it can be extremely whippy up and down. The difference between the bid and the ask can be extreme. So I did end up taking the trade right here at $50.39. You can see that it butted up a couple of times into this level, above $50, and it came back down a couple of times, three times. So these are, well, five times, I guess. One, two, three, four times. And I wanted to make sure that it looked like it was going to stay above $50. Absolutely no guarantee that it would do that. And so I did take way fewer shares than I would normally want to take in something like this. And I actually said that for me to do well in this, it would have to get up to $55 based on the number of shares I had. Well, it was like a profit on this one because here I am in at $50.39. Next candle, zoom, next candle, and then right up here, I finally got a bid of 55, and it poked just above, and I was able to get out some at 55.02. And then in the room, I said if it gives up 54, I want to get out. I couldn't get out at 54. It dropped so quickly, but I was able to get out at 53.72. So, obviously another really great multi-dollar trade for me from 50.39 to 50.02 and 53.72. Now, I do want to point out that later on in the day, I had mentioned in the room that here's the level that it kept going up against. Again, here are the 5-minute candles. One, two, three, four, almost five of them seemingly just well, that says 53.28, but if I did I think there's actually 53.26, 53.25, 24, so it was right in this level. And I really thought I was going to take the trade again. And I almost got in right here, but you can see what happened. It whipped up and then it came crashing right down immediately. And then we got this candle and I kind of stepped aside on it. I kind of chickened out. But other people took it, and I'm like, just because I don't take every trade I talk about, I'm really happy for others who take the trade. I mean, I'm not saying I'm entirely responsible for them taking this trade, but I'd like to think that by pointing this out, a lot of people started watching, and look what this one did right after that. I mean, if you got in here at 53, 60 or so, and it went all the way up to 59.25. So a tremendous rise. And of course, I wish I had taken the trade. But again, I'm happy. This is a trading room. It's not just all about me trading and making money. It's about everybody helping each other. And so if other people took the trade, and I know they did because they posted it in the room, that's fantastic. And I feel great about that. I know some who are taking the trade right here and taking it off the bounce. But so that's something that I just want to point out, that it's just not all about me trying to like I post a lot of trade ideas, and a lot of them I don't take. It's not because I don't like them. A lot of them aren't set up at the time, and I just can't keep track of them all, to be honest. I mean, I have a few that I really, really want to keep track of, and that's what I do. Rent was obviously one right at the beginning that I had to watch just because of the catastrophic collapse of it. I had to keep watching it to me, and I did not want to miss it. So anyway, definitely did okay on the first one. Now, I do want to bring out one thing here because Let me hope this doesn't. Okay. I think everybody, if you want, we're right in the middle of earnings season, okay? And I think that you probably should have this column here, which is our earnings column. If you don't have it, you can go to the filters and just type in earnings. So again, if you don't know how to do that, I just clicked on configure and you type in search. And if you type in earnings, sorry, EAR, and you see you get earnings date. You just click on that. You can add it as a column. So just to let you know what this all means, I mean, this minus 25, minus 0.25, minus 0.25, this is probably the most important one because what this is telling us is that earnings were actually yesterday after the market closed. So you might want to just jot this down. And I actually jot this down because, sometimes I get confused too. But 0.25, if you see 0.25, that means that earnings were before the market opened today. 0.50 means that it opened earnings were during the market hours of the regular market hours, and 0.75 means that earnings will be after the market closes today. So how do we get minus 0.25? How do I know that's after the market closes yesterday? All right, this is again, just bear with me here. I said that 0.75 is after the market closes today. Subtract 1 for the day before. 1 or 0.75 minus 1 is equal to minus 0.25. Therefore, if I see minus 0.25, I know that this stock had earnings after the market closed yesterday, which of course is going to affect what's going to happen today. So this one, 0.25, means that the earnings happened just before the market opened today. If I look at 4.25, that means earnings are going to be 4 days, in 4 days plus say 5 days, and the earnings are going to be before the market opens on the fifth day. So maybe a little confusing, but the most important one to me is always the minus 0.25 because I think most companies seem to have earnings after the market closes. So the minus 0.25 is always going to designate the day before or when the market closed the day before. So hopefully, and that's why I always like to have this column because I want to see like rent. Okay, well, rent had earnings after the market closed yesterday. That's why it's acting so crazy. Yelp was the same thing. Expedia the same thing. DeVry is the same thing, or Devry the same thing. TPX, Tempur-Pedic, the same thing. So that's why it's important. And during earnings season, I mean, you're going to see a ton of these. So actually, Yelp, Expedia, G-Pro, and TPX were one of the ones that I was all watching them during the pre-market, but rent was the one that I had to fixate on. And it obviously, even though I took fewer shares, it got up to that 55 level that I kind of needed, so that it made so I could make some reasonable dollars on it. All right, let's take a look at the other trades that I did, and the other one was NSR. And let's just back this out a little bit to make it a little more. Whoops, there we go. Okay. Now, NSR. This came from the bounce list. 2512 is when I got the alert at 9:51. All right. So this was a potential bounce play. So let me back it up just a little bit more. So what did I say? I said it was at 2512. So 2512 is right around here at 2512, and the time was 9:51. So obviously, and these are 5-minute candles. Obviously, and I try to tell people, especially people who are new to the room, or if you're just seeing this type of video for the first time, when I say, I've got a bounce alert for a stock and I give the price, it doesn't mean, okay, now I'm going to buy it. All it means is that I've been alerted to this sort of price action, and now I'm going to start to watch it. And quite frankly, I want to see it go down a lot further because the further down it goes, the better off the better the potential bounce could be. It just makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, if we had two candles down here and it bounced, well, maybe it's going to get stalled right up here. But if we see this action, in theory, it could keep going right back up to this top of this candle. So that's why we want to see a lot of candles coming down. Now, it broke down through the whole number too. Now, I did say that it wasn't going to be my favorite setup because I really don't like taking trades that are just below the whole number. And you see what happened. This one touched, it tried to go up and it came back down. It tried to go up and then it fell off. The sellers took over and then the buyers took over again. And so this little action here gave me a little bit of confidence that maybe it could actually thrust through the whole number. And so I took the trade at 24.87. Now you can see in this candle right here, it almost stopped me out. I almost stopped myself out as it came back down because I said, I don't like this, and I had no problem if it went down here. I would have stopped myself out, and then I would have waited for it to go above the whole number. But in this case, it reversed almost immediately because this was very quick. This came down and it popped right back up very quickly, and that gave me the confidence that it looked like it was going to have the thrust to get through the whole number. So I watched it go up to here, and it got as high as 25.38. I was really hoping that I was going to get $1 in this one, but as I've said in the yesterday's video, I tend to sell some to make sure I lock in profit. And so I sold 25.27 from 24.87 half. That gave me a 50-cent profit right there. And that allowed me then, even though this candle was looking disaster, it allowed me to kind of hold on to see if it could maybe hold down through the whole number. But as it kept coming down, I decided no, I had enough. And so I took out the balance at 25.10, which turned out to be a good thing because it really has just kind of chopped around for the rest of the day. But excuse me, nice trade though, nonetheless. Didn't give me didn't see a lot of follow throughs other than maybe rent of stocks that really continued on for $1 or two, like excuse me, sorry, that we had seen the other days. So, but nonetheless, a good trade. In the last trade I did, I didn't know, only did three trades today. ABMD, ABMD, ABMD. I actually did a reboot of this, or I reloaded this one, so you don't see it right here, but it actually was on a lifetime high, and when it broke through 57, that was the trigger on the lifetime high. So here is where it broke through 57, so right here and it popped up, it came down, it looked like it was holding. And actually said in the room that I had received a lot of lifetime alerts in this window. A lot of lifetime alerts were triggering. I mean, it's amazing how many stocks are just hitting their lifetime highs. I mean, well, maybe it's not amazing. We're still in this incredible bull run. Now, I indicated that I took this one because it's a biomed. Uh, Only 398,000 shares are traded still. We still have a little over an hour left in the market, but at this point, it was still I think 100,000 shares are traded. So it was very thin, but I had, I guess through experience, I'd seen that some of these biomeds, biotech stocks that were thin, that were hitting these lifetime highs, seem to have a little bit of run left in them. So that's why I picked this one. It's the only lifetime high I did. And so I was in at 57.23. I got out half at 57.50 and really was hoping that it was going to burst through the 58 level and give me $1 in this one. But it started to come down and I actually sold, I don't have it marked here, but I sold at actually at 57.30. So just 7 cents on the second half. And you can see that it's really done nothing since then. So again, it didn't have the thrust that some of the other ones have had, but nonetheless, a great, happy to take that trade, and especially once it held, once the whole number held, I thought, okay, it looks like it definitely wants to take off. So, I think that's it. I don't think there's really anything else that I want to talk about today. Again, I encourage you to add the earnings column into a lot of your windows. You can add them in the top lists or your alert windows, just so you know. I mean, maybe you do know that okay, this stock is going up because of earnings, but maybe you don't know. Or maybe it's because earnings are going to happen tomorrow or the day after, and you can quickly see just by sort of memorizing. The 0.25 is before today's open. 0.50 is during market hours today, which is rare. Rarely do stocks release earnings during market hours. And 0.75 is after the market today. And just subtract one. for yesterday's, and just add one for tomorrow, and add two for the next day after that, etc. All right, well, let's bring back the cover page, and here's again how to get into the room. You can log in with your Facebook or Twitter account, and I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I hope to see you in the trading room on Monday.